The new year comes with a lot of expectations, resolutions, and strategizing. Some might not even or may not even be sure of what's next, while those who know what to do or have a clue on how to go about it are actually out there and really do not know what to do or how to go about it. So that's why we are here to actually help you out on it. It's a new year, and we would want to also help ourselves by now knowing how to navigate the year with success, especially for business owners and those who are aspiring to be entrepreneur. So on Let's Talk this week, we will be discussing building capacity and business development. Hello and welcome to Let's Talk. My name is Olujo Kemosako, and my guest is Mr. Dayo Adetiloye, an international business planning and financial consultant. But as usual, I would like to remind you to please subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on all of our social media platforms. Until then, please enjoy the ride with us. Thank you so much, Mr. Adetiloye, for coming on the show. It's nice having you here.
Thank you very much. Really appreciate it.
Okay. Now let's talk about what it takes to start a business.
Right, thank you very much. I'll be talking from experience how I started my own business 10 years ago. Okay, I left the university. I was looking at what to start with about life. I knew then that I'm going to start something on my own, and that was how I ventured into business development consulting world. And for at that time, it's all about identify a particular problem. There was a problem that I discovered that time. It was a problem of helping people to start out their business. So at that point, there was a federal government grant that people need to access to start their business from scratch. So I saw that opportunity. I leveraged on that opportunity. I started working with people to develop their business, create business plans for them, and mentor and train them to start their own business. And that was how what I'm doing today started. So the first thing for you to start a business is number one, identify the problem. Don't just create a solution and nobody is ready to buy it. Nobody is ready to exchange their money for the value you have put together. So before putting your values together, which is what you are going to use in exchange for money in the marketplace, you need to first go and research the problem. So there are so many problems in different industries today that any industry you want to go into. So for example, you want to start a business in the agri space. Let's say you want to do poultry farming, for example. Now, before you just venture into it, can you study that sector and look for particular problem that people are facing? Maybe the eggs are getting smaller and people want to buy big eggs, or the chicken are not people are not much more interested in chicken that are not organic, and you want to come into that space. You might be looking at organic farming. You understand? So you are not just starting your farming because everybody is starting. You've seen the problem and you are now creating a solution for it. So solution should drive problem, and solution should drive our starting of any business. And once you are starting out, then you now need to ensure that you create a legal framework around it. You want to register that business with Corporate Affairs Commission. So when you do that, you take those documents to your bank to open a proper bank account for that business. And once you have that, you will now be able to run that business in such a way that you separate your own business, the money for your business from your own personal money, because that's where it starts from. So by the time you start doing that, the business begin to solve problem for the society, and you begin to get money in exchange. After a while, you might not be able to do it alone. Then you start employing people. So that's where employment of labor comes in. So you start employing people. As you employ people, before you know, the business will start growing bigger and bigger. And at the end of the day, you might want to also say you want to diversify your business income and things like that. So basically, in starting out as a business venture, you need to look for a problem and solve that problem. You'll be surprised that people just start out because they have money. The fact that you have money is not enough reason to start a business, because if care is not taken, you and your money, you will soon part it. All right. So you want to be sure that what you are doing really is solving a real problem in society. I've consulted for businesses that we saw those businesses access money to start their venture, and in 5 years, based on the fact that they didn't run that business well, the business collapsed. All right. So there are so many things that people need to know about starting about their business and things like that. So I hope that helps in answering that question.
Yeah, okay. I actually did a course on entrepreneurship in emerging economies, and basically looking out for a void in starting out a business. And there were also other things that was taught by about, even if you don't have an idea, if you don't know what the business is all about, you could actually seek for someone who is an expert in that field to help you start it out. How can you please buttress on that, even in emerging economies?
Okay, very good. So if you are starting business in emerging economy, there are basic things you need to know and learn. Number one, you'll be surprised that people start business that they are not trained for. You know, you want to go into a field and you don't have the requisite training in that field. So one thing I advise people to do is that in any economy you are, go and learn about that field. All right. Learn from experts. In fact, learn from the best. So when you have the right knowledge of learning, then the second thing we encourage people to do is to get a mentor in that field. Now, there are so many things I do now when I mentor young people that want to start a business in the line of my own field. One of the things I guide them to do is all the mistakes I did when starting out, I help them to ensure that they don't do that mistake. So, for example, I lost the first money I lost when I was starting my business was around $10,000. Why? Simply because I did not have a contract. Okay, so I did the work quite all right, but I didn't have a contract. And the next thing I will want to do is to just go to court. But of course, you know, when you go to court, you need a contract for even the court to be able to give you the right justice. So today, any little thing we want to do that you know involves money, have a simple contract around it. Let everybody have a good knowledge of what happens when I do this, what happens when I do that. So basically, training, then mentorship.
So how
Thank
can
you.
a business owner build capacity, and what are the key areas of capacity building?
Okay, so capacity building is a critical aspect of the entrepreneurship ecosystem, and is is something that a lot of SME, small business owners, they don't pay attention to. All right, because when it comes to capacity building, you can only do business based on the capacity you have. So I will give an example. The one organization gives out grants, about $5,000 grants, and people receive the same money, $5,000 grant. In 2 years, you start seeing level changes. The same business, the same money, but levels are changing. And the reason why levels are changing is people coming into those businesses with different capacity. Money is not the determining factor that a business is going to be more successful than the other. It's not just money, because we have seen places where people put in the same set of money and they are getting different results. So that leads us to building capacity. Building capacity is what you do to enable your competence, to improve on your competence, to ensure that you have a better performance in what you do. So how do you build your capacity? Firstly, I would say, as the CEO driving your business, you need to build individual capacity. And the business on its own also needs to build its own capacity. So at the individual level, you are the CEO of the business and you need to build your capacity. I remember about 2 years ago, I was certified as a management consultant. So I had to pay for that and get certified. So one of the ways you build your capacity is getting all these certifications. If I look at your profile now, I can assess your capacity. If I look at your profile, I will see your exposure, I will see your competence, your certification, who have you worked with, to what capacity have you worked. Now, another thing you want to do is, in building your capacity, is you want to network with great people. Uh, 3 months ago, I my organization hosted an event, and in that event, we pull in people from all over the world to be part of that event. It's a global summit. Now, for the first time, through network, I got speakers that paid to be on our platform. And I was like, does this thing exist? That event, we spend our money to host that event. But because of our network, somebody just called us, you are hosting an event. Will you mind if we invite this person, we invite this person, we invite this person, and they will pay to support the whole promotion of the work? And that was it for me. So what's changed? We've been doing that program for about 9 years using our own money, but meeting one person added to my network changed everything for me. So your capacity is built by people that also knows you, not just who you know. There are people that you know now, they don't even know you. All right. The people that knows you, they can talk about your work, they can recommend you. In fact, another thing we do is we work with people that want to access grants, opportunity, and things like that. And we encourage them that if you are getting recommendation letter, go and give to people that really knows you, know your work, and they can talk expressly about what you do. For young people just coming up, I always encourage them to go and volunteer. When you volunteer, it's easier for you to build up your capacity and build up your profile and your CV. Everything is not about money. Go and volunteer. Once you volunteer, you will be able to gather that experience that also builds your capacity. If you come for interview, we ask you questions like, what have you done before? Those questions is to assess your capacity. If you have not done anything before, we are not even asking you you if you have been paid for those things. I just say, what have you done before? So what you have done before is going to speak for you, and that is part of the way you build your capacity. Reading is very important.
Thank you very
Most
much. Let's
people that
quickly go on this break. We'll be right back. Welcome back. If you're just joining us, the program is Let's Talk on DNT Work, and I've been speaking with Mr. Dayo Adetiloye. We've been talking about building capacity and business development. Well, thank you so much for standing by, Mr. Adetiloye.
Thank you very much.
Yes, before we went on the break, we were talking about the key points to look out for in building capacity. I actually dived into my next question, so I'm just going to quickly ask that so you can continue. Now, you have helped a couple of business owners grow their businesses and access grants. Now, what would you say is the pattern?
Okay, great. Thank you for that question. So when you want to access grants opportunities, there are two sides to it. Number one is your positioning, all right? And number two is actually applying for it. So the positioning is just like this. Number one, you need an idea. If you don't have an idea that can solve real problems, then you might not be able to win grants. So you need an idea. Number two, you need to go and work on that idea. Like you need to go and start the business. Whether there is grant or there's no grant, go and start. Do something around it. Come up with a prototype. They call it minimum viable product. Come up with something that people can see. Use your own personal money to start. All right. Because I discovered that most people that have not started what they want to do, they don't win a lot of grants. Most of the grants are looking for people that have already started something that you can work with little support. What they are doing can move to the next level. So you want to go and start what you are doing and come up with minimum viable products. I remember when I won the Tony Elumelu grant. The my business already, we have an online platform. We have a website, www.adetiloye.com. We have that website, and when we were applying for that grant, we actually create the narrative around that website that we have a website already, but we don't have a physical office. And through that website, we have worked with on the minimum about 1,500 SME. So I have something to show. And because of that, we won the grant. And that was in 2016. So what we are saying in essence is that you need to position the business, register it with CAC. Don't just say I've been doing business for 5 years, 10 years, no document to show for it. Your business is not registered. You are not running your account. Some people even they have bank account, they are not running it. Every sales that you make per day, per week, per month, let everything pass through your bank account. All right. So these are positioning. You need to have a website that represents what you do, because people that are reviewing your application, they cannot see you, but they can see your website, your social media handles. They have to be very active. Anything you are doing, create social media around it. Give your business a name. Once you give your business a name, use that name to create online properties around it, like your Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter. Go and create business handles for on the name of your company. Then begin to do reports of what you are doing. If you are selling anything, do a small video of where you are preparing those things, because those are the things that will become an evidence base for you, and when they are sizing you up and assessing you. And the next thing is you need to know where to get grants information. Most people, they don't know where to get grants information. In fact, when they hear about grants, they don't know that it's possible for you to access grants. So there are websites you go to access grants opportunity, like the opportunitydex.org. We have opportunityforafricans.com. Also, if you follow me on social media, and you also visit my own website, www.adetiloye.com, you will also be able to see this grants information and things like that.
Okay, thank you so much for that. Any final word?
Okay, great. So my final word will be that the best time to plant a tree, maybe an Iroko tree, will be 20 years ago. All right. The best time to start your business, maybe is few years ago. The next best time to start it is now. All right. This is the time for you to start your own business. If you have been dreaming of starting a business, this is the right time for you to start it. And looking at all the things I've said, just follow through and you see that business come into reality. And this is the tech stage. Anything you are doing, find a way to bring in tech into the business that you are doing. Put in technology, mobile apps, websites, any of those tech things. Find a way of infusing tech into what you do. And this is, with that alone, it can take your business to another level entirely, and ensure that you consistently build your capacity. In the race of building capacity, there's no finish line. There's nothing like I've read all the books in the world. No, you keep reading. New books will come out, new insights, new ideas, new concept. Currently in my feed, AI is transforming my feed now very fast. Are you keeping abreast of that? Are you learning about new things that are coming up? The AI, how is it affecting your industry? Are you leveraging on it, or the AI is going to take business away from you? All these things are the new things that are coming up that you need to keep researching and ensure that you position yourself for all these opportunities. Let your business leverage on all these opportunities and ensure that you keep building a formidable organization that in few years to come, you will be happy that you took this step, you did this, you did that, and things like that. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Dayo Adetiloye. It's been wonderful having you on the show. And indeed, I must say, I've learned a lot just by discussing this with you. Thank you so much once again.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
And to you out there, thank you too for being part of the show. Please ensure that you put all of these things into practice, and we'll all celebrate together. Until next time, when I come your way again with another exciting edition of Let's Talk, I remain Oluja Kemasako. Bye for now.